this video, I'm going to be philosophizing on enlightenment. And enlightenment has two major components to it, which is meaningfulness and thoughtfulness. And both of those can be approached through engaging our direct perception, through mindfulness and thoughtfulness practices such as journaling or philosophizing, asking questions, going on a quest not necessarily in the external world, though that too, but one that engages mind and body and that is internal to mind and body. But not just internal, it internalizes, individualizes, and individuizes the meaningful information that creates the self. What makes you you and I. And the differences between I and you regards to our strengths and strengthening of strengths. That's true. Not just true, but psychologically true. And boundness to the situatedness existence of psychological truths that, as a must, be good enough and necessary conditions, constituted from existing priors of what is ultimate psychological truths of existence, constituted from subjectivo-objectivo relationships of mind and body, in which we interpret meaningful information approximate to the self and surrounds, that enlightens us as to deepen self-wisdom through our strengths, our self-virtues, correct conduct, correct self-conduct, correct perception, correct action, correct behavior and behaving, approximate to what is ultimately psychological truth. And the current to our experience, what's current now. Not just now in the moments coming and forthcoming long into the near and far future. Near as in a week from now, and far as in near a whole lifetime, in which we accumulate psychological truths to our existence, and that to another's existence might not be as psychologically true, or true at all, or even meaningful. Though what really is meaningful is whether or not it's meaningful to you as an individualized individual, an individualized thinker who engages freedom thinking. And it's these liberations of mind, body, that we become more enlightened and able to engage correct perception, action, and behavior conducive towards our capacities for intrinsic creativity and engaging the imaginal, deepening our perspectives through a perspectival process of thoughtfulness in which we gain easier access to knowledge and are able to more easier satisfy the criteria of our psychological needs from its development of ego needs and in the turbulations of life that come our way in the contemporaneous moments of existence in which we build momentum on the meanings, on these stepping stones, leaps or steps on its course upside the mountainsides where there are summits and valleys to gander upon the beautiful, true and elegant, colorful arrays with different frequencies and sounds, creating melodies that are dynamical and not just rhythm or repetition of things, the repeats that create the rigidities of thoughts, but rather ones that take us in different directions in which meaningfully influence our capacity to move from the internalization, individualized, from the depths of the body to the mind, and which comes most centralizing to the meanings of existence that fuel us and energize us and truly cultivate the developments, maintenance, sustainability. Optimistic optimizers optimize the self and meaningfulness processes, creating the worthwhileness to existence and resistance of meaninglessness and arbitrariness and the absurd absurdities which are really true. They do exist. And that's why we need to develop a strong ego resistance to be able to live long and worthwhile, meaningful existences that are enlightened through that process, engaging more thoughtfully and developing on quest of the self, journeyed alone in solitude, and developing the solitary passions of heart that are both what can frighten us from engaging in that self-discovery process, that self-development, and those meaningful major summits of self-realization in which we engage those self-actualization tendencies and never cease to self-actualize, actualizing compartmental elements of the self, regards to its development from ego to greater self-intelligence, in which all great thinkers have engaged, in which you too can be great. Engaging those meaningfulnesses, intrinsic, innermost, individualized, exponential to the strengthened of the self who takes up the responsibility to do so, and not just a responsibility, but the responsabilidade, that complexify being and create the savory, flavory elemental within the self and surrounds, approximate to one's own existence, that enlightens mind and body through correct perception, action, and behavior, and cultivation of deepening expansivenesses, of awesome, worthwhiley, feely-wheelies, in the endeavoring towards the ideal self, more approximate and well-calibrated to the actual self, realizing the higher self and the highness of consciousness that cultivates the most worthwhileness and awesomenesses of meaningfulness. And that's all I want to say for this video. Hope you have an awesome one and enjoy, and keep on expanding those awesomenesses.